years ago, when we came to Los Angeles, I really believed that the greatness of the Raiders would be in its future.
What's going on? What's going on? We back. We are back.
Oh, you didn't know?
50-50.
Welcome to the 50-50 Show with PharoahNFL and the Severe Raider.
We got a lot to
the
talk
realest
about today.
show for Raider Nation.
The perpetuation of the greatness of the Raiders to take a professional football team and give it a distinct characteristic that's different from all others.
Make sure to clock in, like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.
What's going on? What's going on? We appreciate everybody coming through, man. Hey, man, we see y'all in the building. Hey, same show, new time. Man, we appreciate everybody coming through, man. The 50-50 show. Make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. We appreciate everybody coming through, man. And we got a great show. Severe, man. Yes. Hey. This is why we late, y'all. This guy right here, man. This is why we late. No, I'm just
good, man. How you feeling, man? How y'all doing? How you guys doing?
Man, this dude is hilarious. Oh my God, he got the robe, the Raider robe. Look at that, man. The shades, the hat. Hey, man, he's feeling himself right now, man. You did call it, man. You called it, but you didn't call it though, because you kind of was like, I see what you try to do late last week. You try to Michael Jackson moonwalk and be like, you know what? It does make sense that the Raiders will go to Aiden O'Connell because it's the safe choice. You know, but Minshew, you know, outplayed him, you know, but you know, it is what it is, man. But before we even get into that conversation, we know what we got to do, man. We still gonna call it the Night Crew. We going until further notice. Yes. We appreciate everybody coming through. We see y'all in the chat. Nick 209 says Minshewmania. I probably misspelled it. I probably did. You know what I mean? But I'll probably fix it later, man. But Nick 209, man, appreciate you coming through. Dominique in the building, man. Dominique 5, man, appreciate you coming through. He says, "Let's get it, let's go." Raider Resistance, is this an announcement right here? Beast Mode and the Resistance teaming up? Oh, that's huge, man.
Yeah, that's huge, bro. That's huge.
Salute to Digital Prez, man. That's big, man. Congratulations. If this is true, Beast Mode and the Raider Resistance teaming up. Hey, that's a good look, man. Hey, man, congratulations for sure. Man, that's big, man. Austin Avila got a message for Severe. He said, Severe about to light the world on fire talking about that QB.
Oh man, you already know. You already know. Yeah, I know what time it is, man.
Nah, for real. Anthony Provincial in the building, man. Appreciate you coming through. Myra, I got you, man. I keep forgetting. I got to get the E40A area. I got to. It's an essential. I have to. Why Anthony say Cam Newton now? Oh, because you do got the hat. That's his swag though, a little bit. Okay, the Cam Newton hat. You just missing the hair, man. Just missing the hair. Hey man, this is funny. This is gonna be a funny show for sure, man. Oh man, it's gonna be crazy. We got Keith Lyle in the building. Says Raider Nation, Southern Indiana. Appreciate you coming through, man.
For sure.
For real, yeah. All the way from Indiana, man. Appreciate you coming through. Live and direct from training camp, Daniel Kim. Hey, appreciate the King of Mods is in the building, man. Make sure to salute the King of Mods out here, man. Appreciate you coming through, man.
Yes, sir.
Hey, like I said,
Raider practice going on right now. Oh yeah, is Daniel Kim? You out there at the practice?
Oh yeah, that's right. I think so. Yeah, I think they might the 20th, right? The 14th and the 20th, which obviously is today. So I'm not sure. Do you think it's gonna be anything intense like it was last week, especially with the QB position kind of been resolved? I know there's other battles going on, but I just feel like, I don't know why, I just feel like it's just they're not gonna be going as hard as they would if it was a regular practice, a regular training camp practice without all the people in the stands and stuff like that. You know,
facts.
Yeah, man. But yeah, we gonna get into it, man. Hold up. We got Raider Ray in the building, man. Appreciate you coming through. What?
Raider Ray, what's going on?
Raider Ray in the building.
Yeah, we gotta talk about Raider Ray's guy a little bit later.
Oh yeah, we definitely gonna get into it, man. He actually hit me up about it, man. One of the first people that actually hit me up about a possible quarterback option for the Raiders, man. And you know what? It was well thought out, man. We got to get you on the show, Ray, man. We got to get you back on. People been asking about you. We got to get you on soon. It'll be a great show. Man.
I mean this other guy, the number 7 overall pick.
Oh man, if you know, you know. If you know, you know, man. That's whew.
Not much love to Raider Ray though.
That's hilarious. I don't know why I just thought about something, but we'll move it along, man. Raider Nation Vic in the building. He says 707 checking in. Appreciate you coming through, man. We got everybody pulling up today, man. With LV Maximus in the building. He says Max had a pick six off of Minshew. So y'all okay? So y'all all, I think this is from the practice, live and direct. Like Daniel Kim. Okay, so hey, Daniel Kim, hey, if y'all at the practice, man, hey, we'll appreciate the live, commentary from what you guys are seeing out there, man. So let us know. Man, so hey, look, SoCal Sound in the building, man. I gotta salute my guy, man. Always showing support, man. Salute Pharaoh and Hollywood Severe. And that's a good, hey man. For sure Hollywood Severe today, man. But yeah, no doubt. But let's get into it, man. Let's not waste any time. Let's just pull the Band-Aid off. I haven't talked to you since I don't know when. You know what I mean? So I think you've been doing this on purpose. You've been avoiding me purpose, so you just could save it for this show right here. You just want to just go in, say, look, I thought AOC was going to be the quarterback for the Raiders. But should we talk about the quarterback, or should we just talk about the preseason overall? Like we'll just let it come out how it goes. But let's just talk about what everybody's talking about right now is that Minshew was announced as QB1 by Antonio Pierce a day after, the preseason game on Saturday. Man, I was surprised, but I wasn't, because when that pick six happened, I was like, nah. When that happened, I was just like, anything could happen at this point, especially in a close positional battle. I know you know what, I'm just going to give the floor to you, man, because I already know you about to go in and have a good time with this, because you did call Minshew. You did think that he was going to win the battle early on. What did you think of the decision by Antonio Pierce?
I was actually surprised too, just for the simple fact that, Gardner, he's not the safe option. As I said before, he is the high ceiling option though. If you're looking to put up some points, and if you're looking for somebody that's going to push the ball downfield, that's what Antonio Pierce originally said when we first began the process. When we talked about the kind of quarterback he was looking for, he's like, "Hey man, I'm looking for a guy that's going to push the ball downfield." That's part of the reason why we first went after Cliff Kingsbury, and then we eventually settled on Luke Getsy, because those are both guys that like they have some good vertical passing stuff in their offenses. So that's what he originally said, and then later on he started kind of changing his tune, where, hey, you know what? Yeah, I'm not expecting us to score 30 points a game, and yada. So then I was like, oh, okay. Is he tried to pull a switcheroo on us? So that's when I started thinking, like, okay, damn, like he's basically setting us up for a soft landing. He's going to name Aiden O'Connell the starter, because he's the guy that's going to, I'm going to dink and dunk. Hey, you don't go broke, putting money in the bank. So, hey, I'm going to take these 3 yards here, these 3 yards there. I might go 3 and out, but I ain't going to throw no interception, or I ain't going to put us in a negative yardage situation, and so I figured that would be the choice. But I said all along, like, since training camp began, Gardner Minshew's been the better player. Like, just about every beat writer has been saying it. Gardner Minshew was winning the battle. He won the training camp battle, then he won the scrimmage. He was much better during the scrimmage, and in my opinion, he was better during preseason game 1. The only step that Aiden had won was preseason game 2, until he threw a pick 6 to third stringers, and he's the only quarterback in preseason to turn the ball over. Now, Gardner Minshew got lucky in that regard, because he had one that should have been picked off early in the game, in that same game. But you can't count it if it don't happen, right? Closest only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. So at the end of the day, there wasn't a pick. And Aiden O'Connell, who's supposed to be the safe guy, the take care of the ball, the make clean, smart decisions, he threw the pick. You add that on top of the fact that just the offense looked much more explosive when Gardner was in there. He pushed the ball downfield. Aiden O'Connell really didn't do that. So it all adds up. It all adds up at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, it does. And like I said, in a close battle, every little mistake will be looked into in a microscope, and they're going to overanalyze. And the last pass, the last image that Antonio Pierce had before making his decision was a pick 6 by Aiden O'Connell, where, it was kind of hey, man.
Continue. I'm sorry.
Hey, man, look, Severe's enjoying every little moment of this, man. I'm going to give it to him. He, at the end of the day, like, he did call it. But I will say, though, you did think AOC was going to be named the starter, even after the pick 6. And we all felt like it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But the Raiders never do what you expect them to do. They never do. Yeah. They never do. But,
if you would have asked me before the Cowboys game, I would have said it was 50-50. I was leaning Aiden still. But it was more 50-50. But after the Cowboys game, I was like, damn, it's going to probably, because, man, if Minshew would have came out and, like, balled, I'd have been like, oh, it's Minshew. You can't deny him. And I said during the whole time, if AP was going to make it an open competition, it couldn't be a situation where, oh, Minshew was barely better, so he gives it to Aiden. He has to give it to the guy that's better. And I thought, Minshew was better throughout the whole process. But I thought AP was going to put us switcheroo. Like, we're a defensive team. Let's just lean on this defense. But hey, he didn't, man. He didn't.
No, facts. I just, I wasn't surprised though. At the end of the day, I wasn't really surprised, because when that pick 6 happened, like I said, in a close battle, you kind of left it to now. You got to, AP got to make a decision. And hindsight is 20/20. But you looking back, the whole offseason, you mentioned this earlier. Whole offseason, AP was talking about how he values mobility in a quarterback. You hear the offensive coordinator, Luke Getsy, talk about, it's not about having mobility per se, but escapability. Those second reaction type of plays. Who's that? What quarterback on the roster are you describing at this point that's actually considered to start at QB? That's Gardner Minshew at the end of the day.
Definitely.
And, we'll get into, what was said, and we'll break down, like, because I felt like it was kind of interesting what AP said in the presser too as well, like how he worded certain things. But we'll get into that in a little bit. But hey, Gardner Minshew's the starter. He showed off. Surprisingly, the guy with the not as strong an arm showed off his arm better than AOC did as far as pushing the ball downfield, which is something that obviously AP kind of mentioned in the pressure as well. He wants to get on a fast start. What does that mean? You're trying to hit on big plays, score some points. The good thing is, at the end of the day, is that if you really think about watching these 2 preseason games, what was missing from the offense that we really are expecting the Raiders to be on offense this year is running the football. Yeah. And they did on purposely, they did not feature the running game. And the reason why is because obviously there's a big QB battle going on right now. They're trying to give the quarterbacks as much reps as possible. So a lot of hopefully the weaknesses that we see in both quarterbacks, we won't be able to see as much because the run game is going to be featured. They're going to be using play action a lot. You got playmakers everywhere. Brock Bowers, who didn't play last game, and we'll even get into that, Devontae Adams didn't play last game. Yeah. That's a big part of their offense. Obviously,
he didn't play either game, I don't believe. So I mean,
right. Yeah. But if you just think of the weapons that we have as a whole, it's just gonna make life easier on whoever's at quarterback, including Minshew. So, at the end of the day, man, I'm not gonna root against Gardner Minshew. I've always said the quarterback room as is right now, we're going to have to draft a guy in the future. A guy needs to come into this. Like, we need someone that's going to be considered a franchise quarterback. Can it possibly be them? I'm not betting on it. But if it is, I'm going to be right there with you, Raider Nation. I'm going to be supporting it. Whoever's out there, our quarterback, having a great game, or whatever the case may be. But, it's the Raiders, like I said, they never do what you expect them to do, man. It's crazy. But let's move it along, man. Let's get into the chat, actually. Let's get into the chat, man. Let's get into the nation, see what you guys have to say. I think I put out, oh, you know what? That's it's too late for that now. Let me see. What we got? Oh, man, we got I appreciate the shoot from Raph. My guy, Raph, man. Appreciate the super chat. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the love, man. Hey, look, man. Let's get into it. Everybody's talking about Tyree. We'll get into Tyree.
Oh yes, we will.
I know. I was big. I'm not a big Bo Nix guy, but he's better than quarterbacks that we have, for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
it wasn't an issue of Bo Nix. It was an issue of Michael Penix or Bo Nix for me, and I think Michael Penix. I think Michael Penix is a better player.
Mm-hmm. You said Michael Penix is no for sure, but who got picked before Bo Nix? Michael Penix. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So at the end of the day, like, teams for sure valued Michael Penix, specifically that the team that I hate the most this year, and I don't know. Right now, I might hate him more than the 49ers and the KC right now is the Atlanta Falcons. They just had to take Michael Penix at number 7. That was the Raiders, because Michael Penix would have been a perfect fit for the Raiders offense, especially with all the weapons, ready to win. The Raiders are looking to win right now. It would have been perfect, but it is what it is. We got our quarterbacks, and hey, will they make a move at quarterback? We'll talk about that later. Let's see. Jalen Harris in a building. He says, Pharaoh Nation, anyone I need a list of reasons to be excited for this season. Hey, I talked about it, man. Look, hey, I didn't include this, but the defense, we should be excited to see what this defense looks like with more game planning. We know Patrick Graham, he's a really good defensive coordinator. What we seen in preseason, they were just out there playing vanilla defense. They're that's not something that we expect them to be. We're gonna expect a great D-line, offense. Running game is going to be more involved. I want to see how Luke Getsy uses. I'm excited how Luke Getsy actually uses the tight ends, to be honest with you. Bowers coming out the backfield, I'm like, ooh, he's going to be a matchup nightmare. And then obviously, you know, you got Michael Mayer, you got Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker. Shout out Trey Tucker, man. Like all that noise about him dropping passes in the preseason. I'm not gonna lie, man. What are your thoughts on Trey Tucker and what you've seen so far from him in the preseason games?
I mean, in game situations, he's looked good. Man, he's looked good, and DJ Turner, like both of those guys, man. Both of those guys are like 5'8", 5'9", but they bring that speed and explosive element that we don't have, basically at the wide receiver position, man. So, you know, they're doing their thing, man. They're doing their thing, and I think that Trey Tucker is basically our only true deep threat that we have, and I think he's going to be a vital element in terms of opening stuff up underneath, as you already alluded to. I'm happy to hear that Getsy is willing to move Brock Bowers around. That was one of my concerns when we picked him. I think he's a guy you kind of have to scheme into your offense. And I didn't know if Getsy would be, you know, willing or able to do that, but it seems that he is. So I think that if he can, I am smooth criminal. Aiden, are you okay? Are you okay, Aiden? You've been hit by.
Hey, Mark wants to remind y'all, make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We appreciate everybody coming through. But a great way of supporting us is just to hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, what are y'all waiting for, man? We're going live on both our channels, so make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when we go live at new time. It's going to be a new time, man, every Tuesday evenings, man. Every Tuesday evenings, Pacific Standard Time. Make sure to tune in. Make sure to hit that notification bell so you'll know when we go live, man. We appreciate everybody coming through, man. But, yeah, like, looking back at, you know, the last preseason game, some people were a little hard on it, I guess because, you know, the Raiders lost. It's just a preseason game. I'm not really looking at the wins or losses too much because they really don't matter at the end of the day, because we've seen Raider teams go undefeated in the preseason and didn't mean nothing in the regular season, right? So it's really you kind of have to look between the lines. Like, you got to look at, like, we're looking at, obviously everybody's paying attention to the quarterback battle. I'm looking at the D-line a little bit. I know it's too early to be concerned, but I was a little bit concerned because if the Raiders in the 2 games in the preseason, teams have been able to run the ball against them easily. Yeah. Is that something that you're concerned at this point? Because it's a matter of being the guy in front of you, right? It's just that simple, right?
It is a little bit of a concern, especially game 1 against the Vikings, because what the Raiders did, I want to say maybe that entire first drive, but I know at least like the first like 3-4 plays, they came out in a 5-2-4. So they came out with 5 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, and 4 defensive backs, and they were still getting ran on. So, you know, that is a bit of concern. And we all saw, you know, last night, the struggles against the run continue. I'm hoping that, you know, come the regular season, things will change. Especially game 1 against the Chargers, I really don't see them being that much of a threat. I don't even know who's going to be their starting back. But hopefully we can get things right. We can build a little confidence there, because going into that Ravens game against, you know, Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, that's going to be like our first true test as a rushing defense. So I think that's going to be that could potentially be a problem. I think John Jenkins is good against the run. Adam Butler is pretty solid against the run. Max Crosby is one of the better defensive ends against the run. So I think we should be okay. But just this happening in preseason, it is a bit of a concern.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, there's certain things you can look at and be like, all right, when it's a matter of just being the guy in front of you and you're not getting the job done, I'm gonna be like, that's, especially if the Raiders can't stop the run, it literally cancels out the pass rush.
Not facts.
Because they won't be able to get people in, you know, 3rd and longs. You know what I mean? 2nd and longs, like those favorable positions for the pass rush to get off and sack the quarterback. So hopefully, you know, they'll get their act together. There's still about 2 to 3 weeks left. Raiders can easily make a few moves. How does that defensive tackle position, how does that shake out? Guys like Byron Young are struggling. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm rooting for him. I like how he sounded and represented himself in the pressure that he had. But it seems like he's struggling out there. Nesta, do you see him making a team? You know, like, these are guys. Are we going to be looking at checking out the waiver wire, seeing who's going to get cut? At this point, are we going to make a trade? You know, there's still a lot of time left, and these are all things that could happen between now and the start of the season. Because right now, and we'll get into like the next game. Next game, you know, none of the starters are going to be playing. There's going to be a lot of the guys playing the next game are going to be trying to make the roster. Yeah. So we'll see who makes the last impression for them to make it on the team. But yeah, man, We'll see. Raider Nation, Vic says, please, Getsy also thought Fields was the guy.
Yeah,
well, not Getsy inherited Fields.
Yeah, he inherited Fields.
Yeah, he inherited. He inherited Fields. Myra's severe Eichenberg sipping on Carlo Ross.
It's actually Celsius mixed with some creatine.
Hey, look, man, he keeping it healthy.
I don't drink us, but that's why I was gonna grab a cigar too. But I was like, this is a waste. I ain't gonna never smoke this thing.
Nah, when the Raiders win, you know what I mean. I guess especially a big win. Let's say if it's a big, if we start the season off like 3-0, 4-0, I'm pulling out a cigar, man. Right now, I'm pulling out a cigar. We got to celebrate because everybody hating on the Raiders right now. Everybody's hating on the Raiders. Born Raider, man. Hey, Born Raider is another guy who called it. He called it. He's another guy who said Minshew was definitely going to be the quarterback the night of after the game. Like he just kept it honest and he pointed out that, you know, AP has been talking about mobility and being able to make big plays. And who's been doing that? I'm not gonna lie. Like who showed mobility out there? He's not Lamar Jackson, but he's gotten first downs using his legs. He was able to buy some time and hit on some deep. Every game that we've seen Minshew, he was able to hit like a few guys deep.
At least one, at least one every game.
Yeah.
He had Tucker. I think he had one to Turner, and in the first game, he had another one to Tucker this last game too. Like he's been doing it every single time. And I haven't seen Aiden. I don't think Aiden's done it once that I can think of.
Yeah. Kenny says O-line should look better with key pieces coming back. Yeah, I believe Colt Miller officially back with the team. You know, after a long offseason due to shoulder surgery, I believe he was on the PUP list. Last week, JPJ, the rookie, was able to come back. He's going to be a big part of that O-line. He's not going to be starting. I think AP announced it. He said early on, he's like, he's not going to be starting that first game, which concerned about him. And I don't want to put that in like. He was out because of a concussion, so I don't. Yeah. That's something that you got to take serious. Like if you're out for that long for a concussion, that's something to keep an eye on. But he's back. He's practicing with the team. And they're going to slowly bring him back, and hopefully that left side gets healthier. But the potential is there definitely. And shout out Glaze, DJ Glaze.
Yeah.
Dude he's playing well. I mean, is there a chance that he could start? I mean, we keep talking about it. But every game, like, can he really? Is it going to be a situation where, at some point in the season, he's going to become the starter or get some playing time? Or we understand how the season works. We understand how football is. Player gets hurt. It's all about depth, and players come in. They got to help the team, and eventually. But early on, he's impressed the coaching staff. Is he going to be a guy at that right side that the Raiders are going to consider starting? Or I think for right now, Thayer Munford is going to be the guy.
That's a tough one. I think at some point he's going to, even if they name Thayer Munford the opening day starter, Thayer Munford, he seems to get hurt all the time, bro. I don't know what's going on with this dude. He seems to be hurt all the time. So at some point, Glaze will get a start at right tackle, and if he impresses, I don't see any reason why they would go back to Thayer, especially as you kind of said in the past. Thayer is our best swing tackle. He's our best swing tackle, so it kind of is advantageous to have him as a reserve because if Colton goes down or if Glaze goes down, Thayer can fill out on either side. And Glaze, he kind of struggled at left tackle, and as he showed in that first preseason game, giving up that bad sack. So I think that you know, the best case scenario would be for Glaze to start, but I wouldn't mind seeing you know, Thayer Munford out there and then Glaze taking the spot later on.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it, man, because it's definitely interesting how high the coaching staff is on him. The fact that he's actually, when he's played on the right side, he's looked pretty good out there. So we'll definitely pay attention to that. But it's a good problem to have. Yeah. We went from just having Thayer Munford back there, and now we got a little bit of a competition there. We got some depth, and you know, hey, look, best case scenario in my opinion, if Glaze steps up to be that guy at the right side, and then you have Thayer Munford kind of move in to that swing tackle spot, which I think he fits better because he has experience playing left and right. But even the O-line coach came out and said, like, we know Thayer Munford is better on the left side. Yeah. You know, so that's something to keep on. But, hey, shout out to Ray, man. He's like, I got to head out. Much love. I'm going to catch replay, man. Appreciate you coming through. Shout out Tyson Bagent. Yeah, man. Hey, appreciate you calling it out, man. We're going to talk about it during the show, man. That was a good catch, man. Good catch, man. Appreciate you coming through. Man. So let's get into the chat real quick. We got Lake Show Raider. If little damn man, he just gonna come in and just. If Louis Thompson-Lesso would have traded up, we could have had Michael Penix, man. You know what? I don't want to hate on Tommy T right now, because so far so good with the draft class, but just like anything else, you can criticize certain moves, and one of those moves is, you know, let's be honest, we weren't able to get a quarterback in this draft. Yeah. Just based off what we have, like we knew it going in, and the fact that they didn't even attempt to get a quarterback at any point in the draft, and there was definitely multiple opportunities. Hopefully, Eichenberg is a really good linebacker. Hopefully, he steps up. But I'm not gonna lie. I'm not going to lie. I'm not gonna lie. If the guy out there, Spencer Rattler for the New Orleans Saints, if he goes out there and balls out, we're not gonna forget this. We're for sure not. We're gonna bring this up. You know how Raider Nation get down. They're not gonna forget that for sure.
Oh, I definitely won't. I ain't forgot. Look, I've been hammering that nail since draft. I've been on that. It just didn't make any sense, man. It just, if you look at positional value, it just didn't make any sense to not get a young guy at that position, man. It made no sense, especially to draft a guy like Eichenberg, who's going to for sure be behind Spillane for at least another year, possibly more if we decide to bring Spillane back. Like, I don't know. It just didn't make a whole lot of sense in my opinion. But hey, you know, Telesco's the GM. That's the position he valued more at that particular draft spot. So we got to live with it now. But if Rattler turns out to be the real deal, and then we've been hearing good things about him in Saints camp, and Eichenberg, you know, he's been MIA. So, you know, it's like so far we've got absolutely no return on that particular pick, and ain't no telling how long he's going to be out, because initially they said he was out for personal reasons, and now they're saying it's a lower leg injury. So they're kind of moving the goalpost as in terms of why he's not playing. First it was personal, now it's lower leg injury. So, you know, what's really going on? I'm not sure.
Garrett Pope says if a worst case scenario with both QBs happen, what is Carter Bradley's chances? By the way, Severe filling himself with the fedora respect. Man, look, I think we're gonna go after another quarter. You would think that another quarterback would probably be on the radar before a Carter Bradley. Bradley probably comes in because I don't think Bradley's gonna make the team, but there might be a possible chance they might bring him back in as a practice squad player. Possibly, he might hang around in that way, and if he does play for the Raiders, he would come in due to injury. I don't think the plan is for him to come in because, you know, Minshew and AOC don't work out, they don't play well, or if they're not, you know, even if they're not healthy, I feel like they're going to go after a veteran option before they go for a Carter Bradley because he's more of a developmental project. Like, I just don't think he would be a player that they put out there. I mean, what do you think about this, Severe?
No, I agree, man. If you get to the point of the season where you're throwing out Carter Bradley, bro, it's a wrap. It is a wrap. He's just, hey man, just pack it up. It's a done data, man. You are in a whole bunch of trouble, man. So I don't see that happening. As you said, I think we go after a veteran guy before we see Carter Bradley take any real meaningful snaps. Tyson Bagent is a guy that's interesting. He could be a guy that's available for us. And excuse me. And Luke Getsy has some familiarity with him, so I can see him, bringing him on over here. But yeah, if Carter Bradley's in the game, bro, we are in a world of hurt. A world of hurt.
Yeah. That's definitely not the plan. It's not plan A, B, C, D, or E, or F, or whatever. Like, it's worst case scenario. The Raiders are desperate and they got to put him out there. That's to be honest. Because if they had any type of plan, backup plan, it would be to put someone with a little bit more experience out there. Even if AOC or Minshew don't work out, it's going to be someone with experience that I feel like they're going to go to. Especially in AP's case, he wants to win. His job is on the line. He's not going to put out no
exactly.
You need to win. I mean, if it was Jaden Daniels, you know what I mean? If it was a quarterback that he really believed in, a playmaker out there, or Michael Penix, like, of course AP would be all for that. But like in a situation where, an undrafted guy, shout out to undrafted guys, but
he went to like what school is like South Alabama or something like that. I forgot what school it was.
Yeah, hey, shout out. He is Gus Bradley's son, so. He's gonna catch on. He got connections. He got connections for sure.
Exactly.
Hey, but let's move it along, man. Hey, look, it's that time. It's that time.
Profile 69 offense. He was giving them the business.
Hey, flag on the play, man. This is where we talk about things we have a problem with, issue with, anything, man. It could be anything that's happening around the league, but obviously this is a Raiders show, so if there's something that we have an issue with in regards to the Raiders, we're definitely going to talk about it. And this week, someone actually put this out. Shout out to I'm gonna show him some love. Shashi Jaram, Raider fan, active on Twitter or X as they call it these days. And I believe you have the ESPN list as well too. They did a positional group ranking for NFL teams. And obviously they ranked each position group for the Raiders. I'm going to go ahead and put this on the screen, so hopefully this will be helpful for you guys to see. Let's see here. I don't know if y'all can see that right there. So they got the QB room for the Raiders, number 31. They got the running back room, 31. Wide receiver room, 18.
That's filthy.
Sheesh. Tight end, number 7. Okay. I like that. O-line, 12. Okay. They kind of have them top half. D-line, number 9. Interesting.
That's interior defensive lineman. It got to be then.
Possibly. Just D-line. Unless you have it in front of you. You have it in front of you, right? So you probably have like the...
It doesn't have the positional breakdown, just overall roster.
Okay. But overall, I think it was 25 or 26.
Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna call a flag. Man. I just don't see that the Raiders are 25th ranked roster when you got the weapons that we have on offense, when you got the pieces that we got blue chip players on the defense. I like our safety room. I know they ranked us 18. I'm not sure if they even. So you're saying that they don't even have the positional rankings in front of you?
No, it's just their overall ranking of the roster. It's not broken down by positions, and they got us. At 26. They got us one spot in front of the New England Patriots.
Oh, that's disgusting. Nah, that's we calling a flag on that, man, because our D line is probably one of the most talented D lines in the NFL. I like our safety room. Jack Jones is going to be a name that everybody's going to be talking about this year. I think he's gonna have a really good year. I'm calling a Pro Bowl year. But then, hey, Jack Jones, when I call out Pro Bowl year, don't let number 19, get open on you. Like, if anybody was watching the preseason game, it was a couple times I was like, don't let that guy, most likely probably not going to – I don't know if he's going to make the roster for the Cowboys, but, the Raiders had their starters out there until like what? I would say almost the entire half. I know Max left like in the middle of the second quarter at some point, but when I seen Jack Jones – and I didn't mean to jinx it. If I jinxed it, I jinxed it. My bad. I'm knock on wood. But after I said he was going to have a Pro Bowl year, number 19 decided to get open against Jack Jones. But I still think that he's going to have a big year. So led by Jack Jones. And Jacorian Bennett, hey, I think he's going to – so a lot of this right here, this is that national media not really looking into the rosters. They're just taking a quick glance. Oh, I don't know this guy. Not doing their research. I mean, Severe, like, do you agree with some of this? I mean, I can see why they feel a way about the quarterback room. I see that. I understand why they feel this way. But the wide receiver number 18, are you serious? That's probably the biggest strength on the team, arguably.
Yeah, man. I think it's ridiculous. I can agree with the quarterback room. I can even agree with the running back room just because Zamir is unproven. Even though I think he'll be a good NFL back, he's unproven. So until he actually does it for a full season, I can understand some skepticism there. But our wide receiver room, we have, a top 3 wide receiver. Some people might even say he's still the number 1 wide receiver in the league in Devontae. Then we have one of the best number 2 wide receivers in the league. That alone should get you in the top 10. So. And then the fact that our wide receiver room with one of the best players at the position and then one of the best number 2s in the league is ranked as the same as our safeties, which have no blue chip guys there. Marcus Epps is a solid safety. Trevon Merrick, he's an ascending guy, but he didn't like, he hasn't gone to a Pro Bowl or done anything like that. So that just doesn't make any sense. Linebackers understandable. Corners is kind of understandable just because you want to see Jack Jones do it for a full season, and Jacorian Bennett is a guy that they got benched last year. So I can understand that there, but I think our O-line should be a little bit higher. Our edges, I think, should be a little bit higher. We saw what Kuntz did at the end of the year last year. Max he's a top 10 NFL player, period, according to his peers. So I think our edge room should be higher than that. I mean, I just think it's, as you said, the media not really doing their due diligence. They rather go with the narratives than really look into what's actually going on there, which is, I guess, is understandable. Sometimes it's hard to do that for our 32 teams, especially if you're not a guy that's specifically covering the Raiders. You don't know the ins and outs of the roster, or you don't know about some of these other guys that we know about because we follow the team more closely. That's why the people come here. That's why you should always come here for your Raider content, because we know this team in a way that these other writers really don't know this team. So we can give you the real, and we keep it non-biased. We keep it 100% over here as well.
Yep, that's 100% facts. That's why you need to watch us, because we paying attention to the team all day, every day. Man. We pay attention to what's going on around the league, but it's mostly the Raiders. So, and we're gonna have these conversations with y'all. But look, national media is gonna feel the way they do. We literally, their flag on the play at damn near every week this offseason. Like, they've been hating on the Raiders left and right, from Madden NFL 25 game, the rank. You know what I mean? So, and the players see it too. That's what I like. The players, the coaching staff, hopefully they're using this as a tool. Hopefully AP, and I think he is, because you hear Jack Jones kind of talk about it. So they hear it. They hear the noise. And I feel like that's the best position the team could be in going into the season, because now you're going to be super motivated to show the world that, that you're better than whatever everybody's saying. So I think that's going to be a great position for the Raiders. I wouldn't want them to go into the season thinking that they're, like, that everything should be handed to them. I rather them like go out there, work for it, show the world, and and we're gonna see it. We're gonna see it every Sunday. So look, flag on the play. I don't agree with it, but it's kind of been a common theme this whole offseason for the Raiders when it comes to national media and just in general, man. People be hating on the Raiders. Y'all know what it is. But let's move along, man. The next flag on the play, man. I'm gonna let you take the lead on this one, man. So what's the second flag on the play?
So the second flag on the play is, we are all fans of the Raiders, right? And we all had our dog in the fight in terms of this quarterback battle, right? There are a lot of people that supported Aiden O'Connell. There are a lot of people that supported Gardner Minshew. But I think that the consensus among most Raider fans was that we would support, whoever the starter was because we trust in this team. Now, all of a sudden, there are some people, whose guy didn't get chosen. And now since their guy hasn't been chosen, the whole regime doesn't know what they're doing, specifically Antonio Pierce. So, I think everybody was big supporters of AP being named the head coach until he didn't name the guy they wanted to be starter at quarterback, the starter at quarterback. And now AP doesn't know what he's doing. And some people have even been saying, he should be out. He should be out of a job. So I think it's crazy, man. I think it's crazy. It reminds me of some of the things that were going on when we had a previous quarterback here that's now in a southern humid state and is no longer playing for the Raiders. Some of that stuff is going on there as well. That they're kind of putting the player above the team, which, hey man, I can't rock with that.
Yeah, no, I agree. At the end of the day, like, they're the coaches. They're getting paid to do what they do. They're the decision makers in the team. We'll be there to criticize them when things don't work out, but like at the end of the day, like, they've been there every practice, every OTA, every training camp practice. Like, they understand what they need at that quarterback position. Hey, AP's literally coaching for his job. Like, let's be honest. Like, I just have that feeling. It's like a weird feeling, but I just feel like he has that amount of pressure to prove everybody wrong because he is kind of inexperienced at that head coach spot. And I'm not sure if he's going to have the ability to come back next year if the Raiders ain't successful this year. I can't say with 100% like confidence that he will come back, which, it sucks, but I guess it comes with the territory. Like, when you don't have that, you're a former linebacker coach who's never been even a coordinator gets elevated to a head coaching spot. It's a huge risk, huge, I guess just transition from that spot to head coach. So he has a lot to prove out there to us, to Raider Nation, to everybody around the league. So a lot of doubters. But that being said, let's give him a chance. We should it's not like AOC is Tom Brady. Like, it's not like it's not like he was out there hitting big plays. He was playing. To be honest with you, AOC's preseason last year was better than this year.
1,000,000 times better, bro. 1,000 times better. Like, if you look at this just statistically, he was the best quarterback in all the preseason last year. Like, bar none. Like, out of all the rookies, out of everybody, he was statistically the best one last year in that preseason. So if he would have duplicated the preseason last year that he had this year, even though AP kind of said that they weren't going to base it all on preseason, but I think that would have made the decision very tough. And I think that if he would have played that well, that would have pushed him over the finish line and pushed him to the top of the depth chart at that particular position. But he didn't. He if anything, he regressed this preseason. And I think that ended up costing him, man. So, even when I thought Aiden O'Connell was going to be named the starter, right? I didn't like the decision. I didn't agree with the decision, but I still found ways to justify the decision, and I was going to support the decision if that's what Antonio Pierce thought was the right move for this particular team. I found ways to justify it and say, you know what, if Aiden is a starter, this is probably why, and I can live with that. But I'm not gonna be like, oh, he didn't choose who I want, so now he should be fired. Like, come on, bro. Like, rookie head coach. This is one of the most, we talked about some of the most important decisions he's made. The important decision number one was Luke Getsy. I know a lot of people didn't like that decision. And now the second decision has been Gardner Minshew. I know some people don't like that decision as well. But at the end of the day, man, this is AP's job. He's got to do what he thinks is best for this team and for his particular regime. So, and I'm gonna trust in him, right? He hasn't given me any reason thus far not to trust his judgment.
No, facts, 100%.
Unless timeouts at the end of a game, then that's a question.
Yeah, he still needs to work on that. But yeah, hopefully it gets better. That and that being said too, like, what did AP say when he announced the quarterback position? He made sure to include Tom Telesco was in this decision making process. Also, Lou Getsy. And what I noticed about AP, he leans on the guys around him. You know what I mean? And I respect that. He doesn't have a big ego where he's like, I got to make the final. I'm making a decision. It's not like one of them type of situations. Obviously, he's the head coach. He's going to make the final decision, but he's also going to lean on the guys who, hey, let's be honest. AP is not going to be coaching in the quarterback room. He's not going to be calling plays on offense. Lou Getsy is. Yeah. So Lou Getsy is like, hey, you know what? I can work with Gardner Minshew. I can work with Gardner Minshew over at AOC. He has to go with. He has to go with that. He has to take that into consideration. So.
Nah, fact.
But hey, look.
Now, I'm sure Rich Gangarello probably had some input in there as well. I'm sure that was part of the decision. AP talked about. And that's where I think Gardner separated, another area where Gardner separated himself, right? We talked about his mobility. We talked about him pushing the ball downfield, but just Gardner as a leader, as a vocal leader. I think that Aiden, he made improvements there from last year. I think he was more vocal. But if you go from a 1, on a scale of 10, from a 1 to a 3, motherfucker, you still a 3, right? Just because you made vast improvements, you still a 3. And I think just in terms of, and this is something I brought up before, right? And some people, even some people on the screen, they kind of poo-pooed it. But I talked about the energy that Gardner Minshew brings, right? And that's something that AP cited when he was talking about why he named him as a starter. Just having a guy that's going to fire the guys up and have the guys playing with confidence. When you have that kind of person on the field, that's a force multiplier. That makes everybody better when you bring that energy and that excitement. And when you exude that confidence, you can instill that confidence in others, even when they sometimes don't have it in themselves. So I think that's important. Like Aiden, he's a meek, quiet guy. I said it before, he doesn't have, in my opinion, the personality or the makeup of a franchise quarterback. I think he's going to be a high level backup, and I think he'll have a long career because he's a guy that, he's smart. I think he can fit in the system. I think he can learn the system. I think he'll do what's necessary for the team, but I don't think he's ever going to be a guy that's going to be, starting quarterback. Even Brian Hoyer, right? We even heard Brian Hoyer was a guy that was bringing energy and during practice, right? Him and Max would be getting into it, and he'd be talking trash, and like even he had that kind of stuff. So and the fact that Aiden doesn't have it, that I don't think you can start that kind of guy in this league.
Yeah, man. Hey, and look, you know what? Just so I can say this to y'all, man. For all the everybody upset that AOC is not the quarterback, I'm just gonna say that Severe spoke Minshew into existence. I'm gonna show you a snapshot of what was said. Let me hold up if I can make this bigger. Hope y'all can see this, man. Look, this is from I think last live on Saturday, the post game show. Severe says, "I'm gonna laugh at if AP names Minshew the starter, and guess what? The next morning, Minshew's the starter, man. That is, just blame Severe for this. That's all I'm gonna say, man. Just blame Severe for this. Look, as you can see,
because y'all was on that live talking reckless. Oh, and it's a few names. It's a few names in here I don't see, and they know damn well they better not come in here because there's a few of them that was talking real slick, real greasy, and they ain't nowhere to be found now. So they gonna come around week 1, or they'll stick their heads back out if Gardner slips up or throws an interception or something like that. They'll be on the next live like, what I tell you, where put Aiden O'Connell in. But right now, they tucked tail and ran, which is cool. That's their prerogative.
The Tribe says results going to be the same either way at QB, in my opinion. Hey, man.
Possibly, man. Possibly. I mean,
it's possible, but you know what? Let's give Minshew a chance. See how it looks like. Look, he's not going to drop back 50 times back there. They're going to run the football. At the end of the day, they have plenty of weapons. Guys are going to get open. Minshew just literally has to deliver the ball. Look. it sounds simple. I know the guy needs to execute out there, but it's not like, it's a situation where the Raiders have a lot of holes on the offensive side of football and the quarterback has to carry the team. That's not the situation. The guy that's going to be back there, he just has to manage the game. Don't turn the ball over. Get the ball to your playmakers. Let them do what they got to do. A lot of guys on offense got a lot of yak ability. And hey, Minshew and Trey Tucker got some chemistry going on, so that's a good sign.
Sure.
I'm interested to see how Minshew and Davante Adams, because we haven't seen that yet, And
Davante ain't about to get a pass.
And
first 2 weeks, it's like
I'm just saying, I'm gonna be interested to see how that works out. Like, Minshew and Davante Adams. I mean, I'm sure they're gonna get on the same page, but the entire offseason, I mean, Davante's kind of been AOC all day, every day. Like, so that's kind of his guy. Like he's kind of gone. He understands there's a quarterback battle, but he's also went out his way to say that he thinks AOC is the guy and yada yada yada. And guess what? Fast forward, that's not the case. So we'll see what happens and see what happens on offense and see if they're on the same page, because a lot of the receiver success out there, sometimes it's chemistry with the quarterback. So
yeah,
we'll see how that goes, man. Daniel Kim.
This fool AP named Gardner Minshew the starter just for Davante faking that injury the last preseason game. He's like, fool, you don't want to play? Like, all right, Minshew, you the starter.
Nah, for real. Nah, O'Connell played scared and not to lose the job instead of going for it. Scared money don't make money nor become QB1. I don't know if I seen that. I thought O'Connell played a solid game until he threw that pass. And I'm sure. Look. The way they were. This is what, from what we heard from AP and what we heard from the Raiders camp. The reason why Minshew won the job is because of experience and his mobility.
Yeah.
Those are two things that you can't really change. Like, there's nothing AOC can do. I think AOC. There was a chance that he probably could have started, or they kind of, let's go with this. But that interception, I think, just whatever momentum AOC had, it was taken out for sure in a close QB battle.
I think people point to that interception, but like I said, man, like all through training camp, we heard Minshew was the better guy. It was close, but Minshew was the better guy. On that scrimmage, Minshew was better by far, right? And then I think the game one, Minshew was the better guy. We talk about, Minshew had 3 drives, but he had three drives. But even in terms of those 3 drives, part of the reason why Minshew had 3 drives because he was pushing the ball downfield, getting chunk plays. He only threw 3 more passes than Aiden O'Connell, completed 1 less, but still had 41 more yards. Right? Had 2 touchdown drives and a field goal. So it's not like the pass, the drive distribution was different, but he only threw 3 more passes, and he was much more effective when he did have the ball. So and to Daniel Kim's point, I think it was Aiden O'Connell, and I don't think it was necessarily him being scared of not winning the job. That's just who he is. He's not a risk taker. He's not a guy that's going to really push the ball downfield unless it's like wide open and a guy like there's nobody around the guy. And like Gardner Minshew, for all his faults, he's going to give guys chances to make plays on the ball. And sometimes that's going to lead to some turnovers. But when you got guys like Davante and Jacoby and Michael who are jump ball guys, I think that's going to lead to more situations where, they win those 50-50 ball situations. Like the only time I can really remember Aiden throwing the 50-50 ball was the one he threw to Michael Mayer against the Jets. And that ball was kind of poorly thrown. Like Michael Mayer had to make a play on that ball because, if the DB would have actually made a play on it, that really should have been an interception. So, that's not really his game. And I think that's more in Gardner Minshew's wheelhouse. And I say another thing is that if you look at AP's personality, the kind of guy he is, I think that kind of jibes more with the Minshew than it does with Aiden O'Connell. Aiden O'Connell is real low key. He's real quiet, real like AP is not that kind of guy. He's a guy that walks around with his chest out, he's more of an alpha, and I think that Gardner Minshew, he's more of an alpha than Aiden is, and I think that like when AP was faced with that decision, he went with the guy that he felt it was going to be better in those type of situations.
Get Shrek says nobody's saying AOC is the franchise QB. He just better than Minshew. It's possible. It's possible, but at the end of the day, but AOC at the end of the day didn't play better than Minshew to get the starting job.
Yeah,
it's that simple. Like, he just didn't play. You know what? Look, that being said, I thought AOC was going to be announced to start. Like, I'm going to be honest. Like, I did think. I thought it was. I've been quoted to say. I said, hey, if it's close, I feel like they should go with AOC. He gives you a little bit of more of an upside because it's his second year in the league. But hey, they went with experience. They like his mobility. They're going against their first 4 games. They're going to be going against some tough D lines. I mean, at least 3 of those games. You got Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack first game. You got Baltimore Ravens second game on the road. You got Myles Garrett. One of those games. You probably want a guy that has a little bit of mobility. O-line is kind of shaky right now. And when AOC gets pressure, just like any quarterback, but especially AOC, he struggles. He makes bad decisions. And the last memory we have of AOC and that coaching staff had was that pick 6 against third stringers. Yeah. And he had plenty of time, actually. He just panicked. I don't know what he did. He just assumed. He just, it is what it is, man.
The problem is that guys are sitting on that short stuff with Aiden, right? And he's a guy that was supposed to be the person that opened the offense. He's supposed to be the guy that, we got rid of when we set Jimmy G down. We're like, okay, dang, we have a guy that's going to push the ball downfield a little bit more. And we saw some of that in that Chargers game, but we didn't see it often enough. And then even last night, it got to a point where guys were just sitting on it. Like, okay, I'm not going to worry about getting beat deep because you're not throwing it there. I'm just going to sit on these short routes. And, a guy saw an opportunity, took it, and took it to the house. So, and you brought up an excellent point in terms of AOC being pressure. I think the numbers when AOC is pressured is, I think he threw two touchdowns and threw 7 interceptions under pressure. Like, those are disgusting numbers. Like, that is horrible numbers, man. So, if you can't handle the pressure in the NFL, we don't expect you to be, like some crazy, touchdown artist. But at the very least, you want to have it a better touchdown interception ratio than that. And he was pretty poor at it.
Yeah. And it's look, like I said, it was a close battle. It's not like Minshew or AOC was lights out at any point. It was just that when it came to putting points on the board, Minshew was able to put 17 points on the board. When it came to mobility, which they liked that. They liked the experience. These are things that, in a close position battle, like, that's on them. We're going to see if it works out. But at the end of the day, they made a decision. Was I surprised? Somewhat. But look, it's not like AOC was playing like Peyton Manning out there, Tom Brady. It is what it is. But look, if it doesn't work out, then we'll be here to talk about it, and we'll say that you're right. But at this point, Raider Smoke's in the building. Hey, appreciate the super chat. He says, what's up with the guys? Severe was doing cartwheels when it was announced he started Minshewmania, a.k.a. Baby Mahomes. Love the show. Like and subscribe, man. Appreciate you coming through and supporting, man. Yeah, man. Hey, look, I was talking mess on Saturday. I was one of those guys like, hey, look, I told y'all so. And then, hey, but the crazy thing is everybody thought AOC was going to be the starter. Yeah. I believe I put out a poll after the game, and everybody was like, AOC is going to be the starter. AOC is going to be the starter. And that was a big difference from the week before. A big difference from the week before when Minshew was able to, put some points on the board, and Nation thought Minshew might have had the edge, but it was still close. So, look, we weren't there during training camp. We weren't there seeing all the OTAs and the practices, and there's so many things that go into it when making a decision like that. We only seen the only thing that we could say that we've seen so far for a fact is the preseason games. So look, it is what it is, man. We gonna rock with it either way, man. It's Raiders Smoke, man. I appreciate the support. Appreciate the super chat. But let's I'm trying to get into the chat real quick. Let's see. Hey man, I guess we gonna give it a.
Look, bro, I'm not even gonna say nothing, man. I'm not even gonna say nothing.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Man. Oh man, but hey, look, man, they're going back and forth right now. It's all good, man. Hey, look, as long as you keep it respectful, we're here. Hey, everybody got their own opinions and stuff like that. We don't gotta agree, but as long as you guys keep it respectful, then I'm all for it. But look, hey, let's move it along, man. To notable quotables. So where we point out some quotes that we thought were interesting that reflect what's going on around the nation, around the team. So I'm gonna go ahead and let's see here. Give me just a second. But if you want to give them the intro to this first quote.
So which one are we rocking with first?
It's a Hasselbeck.
Oh yeah. So Tim Hasselbeck, we all know, former NFL quarterback, brother of Matt Hasselbeck, now analyst on ESPN. He has some things to talk about in terms of why Minshew ended up getting the job over Aiden. Some very interesting things. Some things we touched on, but some other things as well. So I think he brings a little bit of a different perspective. Somebody from outside the organization who also played the position at the pro level.
Let's go. Let's see what they got to say.
There's no way the Raiders thought that they were going to go into the draft and not leave with a quarterback. But that's what happened, and it left them with Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell as their choices to be their starter. Okay, and I think the decision, Antonio Pierce just said it, the decision is the experience. He's got nearly 40 starts in the National Football League. And then I think in terms of the decision-making and processing, look, he's a good passer. His limitations really are physical, not necessarily, mental. And so I think in terms of the beginning of the season, who gives the Raiders their best chance to win early on, I think that it's Gardner Minshew. That's what Antonio Pierce is saying. But I also think what he's saying there when he's talking about neither guy being a finished product, I think he's also saying this isn't set in stone for the entire season, and I think it'll probably play out that way.
So look, he mentions what Antonio Pierce said, and this is what Antonio Pierce said in his.
But you just got to sit here and.
My bad. Here, let me go put on the right quote. This is what he had to say during his pressure when announcing Minshew the starter and why he won the job.
Good morning, Antonio. Not in terms of necessarily all the specifics, but what would you say outweighed in favor of Gardner over Aiden?
Yeah, experience, the operation, the processing, just everything we saw in practice. Some of it showed up in the games. A lot of stuff we can get better at. I don't think anything here is a finished product, but based off of where we want to go in the first quarter of the season, we feel like Gardner gives us the best opportunity.
You see that last part right there?
Yeah.
Where he says, based off where we want to go with it in the first quarter of the season. Even Hasselbeck, he caught it as well. And that should tell you everything you know how they feel about the quarterback position. It's so close where they don't even feel confident about even Minshew. It's just that they're like, you know what? Look, they feel like a veteran is probably better in the early part of the season with a little bit of mobility, like Minshew kind of gives you compared to AOC when you're going against, Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa right off the gate. Like I said, Baltimore Ravens, road game, 10 a.m. start. We all know how those games are tough. We know how Baltimore likes to blitz and get after the quarterback. It's just always been their MO. And then I believe the fourth game of the season, I know we played the Panthers. That's going to be the home opener. We all know the home opener is in LA, but it is what it is. We're just going to say that it's a home opener in Las Vegas. That's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be a winnable game, I should say. But that Myles Garrett game, the Cleveland game. They got a tough defense. That D-line's gonna be tough. They're gonna get after quarterback, and that's what Antonio Pierce is talking about. That's what Hasselbeck is talking about. They literally made that decision because you know what? It's close. We don't really have an answer at quarterback, we feel like right now, but we do feel more comfortable with Minshew in the early part of this season.
Yeah.
That's literally and I guess that kind of goes to us being surprised that Minshew was a starter. Let's be honest. We all thought AOC was going to get it just based off a lot of different reasons, but what did you take from that? What Hasselbeck and Antonio Pierce said?
Well, they both mentioned that Gardner Minshew's processing. I think that that's something a lot of people don't talk about. They always assume that Aiden O'Connell is a more cerebral guy, but Gardner Minshew has proven that he's a guy that can go through he can go through his progressions and he can find the right guy. He talked about really his limitations being more physical than anything. His height. I think people are kind of overblown about the height. He's 6'1". Aiden O'Connell is 6'3", so it's not like there's some like crazy difference in their height. Their arm strengths are there. Aiden has a stronger arm, but Aiden doesn't have some crazy arm. He has an average arm. Gardner Minshew has a slightly below average arm. So it's not like it's a vast difference between the two. So I think that processing and that experience is kind of what won him today, as well as he talked about energy and leadership and another part of that presser when talking about the job. But I think that they're going to continue to be evaluating all of these positions, but notably the quarterback is going to constantly be under evaluation, whether or not the guy that they chose as a starter is the right guy. There's a strong possibility that both guys play at some point this season, whether that be through injury or through poor play. I think both guys will end up seeing some starts.
Yeah, and man, shout out to Raider Smoke once again with the super chat. Appreciate the support once again, man. If y'all want to have y'all comments guaranteed to be put up on the screen, make sure to put in a super chat, man. We appreciate the support. My guy Smoke, man, he says, as if we didn't have enough dislike for McDummy. Did you see the report that he passed on moving up in the draft and picking CJ Stroud? Yeah, I heard that, man. I heard that. I don't know, man. Was that a little bit of Ziegler trying to save face, putting out stuff out there for the media to say that, hey, look, because in the end, it was all bad for McDaniels and everything was kind of going downhill. But then you hear this report that, Ziegler, he wanted to get his guy, CJ Stroud, but McDaniels said no. Yeah. I'm just like,
yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah,
the Raiders should definitely have made the move. Yeah.
Oh man, you already know I was the number one CJ Stroud guy. That was when you had the show with Ray. I was banging the table for CJ Stroud that entire offseason. I don't know if you were the Anthony Richardson guy or if Ray was Anthony Richardson, but both of you guys kind of
I was big on Anthony Richardson. Right now I'm I don't know, because he's getting banged up, and the big thing him coming in was his lack of experience. If you get hurt, you're not out there playing and getting experience. So and he's definitely a project as far as a passer. But
when he did play though, man, he played well.
Yeah, he played well, and I feel like he's in the best situation that he could be with Shane Steichen. He knows what to do with that, bro. He knows how to take advantage of these athletic quarterbacks and their strength and put them. And hey, shout out to Shane Steichen too. That's who Gardner Minshew was able to play under and play well under. So
Shane Steichen brought him over from Philadelphia. That tells you. I mean, that shows you a lot right there, right? Shane Steichen is an offensive. He's one of the better offensive coaches in the league. And when he left Philadelphia, because I think Gardner Minshew was a backup for 2 years in Philadelphia behind Jalen Hurts, behind Jalen Hurts. When he left Philadelphia and went to the Colts, who did he bring over with him? Gardner Minshew. So, and I think that speaks volumes to what a very good offensive mind thinks about Gardner Minshew as a player, and the fact that he trusted him to be in the same quarterback room with, I think everybody at that point kind of knew they were going to draft a quarterback, and with their prior rookie. He trusted Gardner Minshew to kind of be the guy that was going to mentor him and set the example for him. So, I just think that further, gives credence to why Gardner Minshew is the guy here. And, Shane Steichen is also a guy who likes quarterbacks who can be mobile, much like Luke Gessie has shown in the past with, whether it be Justin Fields or Tyson Bagent or, when he had Aaron, even though, of course, Aaron Rodgers. But yeah, man, CJ Stroud was my guy, man. I think if we would have made that move, we'd be sitting beautifully right now, man. First of all, we wouldn't have Tyree Wilson on the roster. We'll get to that in a little bit, but I think we'd have our quarterback of the future, and I think everything else will kind of fall into place, man. If you put CJ Stroud on the field with Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers and even Michael Mayer, I think you got like that right there already. You got a hell of a offense, and then you add a guy like Brock Bowers too. I think we would have been, man. It just, man, it hurts. Yeah, it hurts so much, man.
It is what it is, man. Smoke, we appreciate the super chat, man. Yeah, man, that CJ Stroud would have been nice, man. Hindsight's 2020, man. Like we could sit here all day talk about the what ifs if the Raiders would have drafted this guy and that guy, and we'll get into a little bit of that a little bit later too in just a moment. But hey man, I appreciate it, man. Digging the channel, boys. Just subscribe, man. I appreciate that. Make sure to subscribe to both channels, man. Obviously Severe Raiders channel, the Severe Raider. My mods, if you go ahead and put Severe's link in the chat, as well as mine's too as well. So we appreciate the support, man. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you coming through.
Thanks.
But yeah, man. Let's move it along, man. We got another notable quotable, and this one is what's his name?
But you just got to sit here and wonder.
Rich Eisen.
Rich Eisen, right? The Raider fan that is Rich Eisen.
Yeah, right.
He's a Raider fan. He's a Raider fan.
No,
he's a Raider fan.
He is.
So let me go ahead and play this clip here and hear what he has to say.
But you just got to sit here and wonder. They could have been in a position with a rookie quarterback trying to grow with him. Instead, they got Minshew, and hopefully, maybe he can be like a story of the year. Wouldn't that be amazing if he's like the 21st century Stabler?
Yeah, maybe. We talked about this last week, Rich, with Kirk Morrison. You know who's a quarterback out there, a veteran guy, unsigned, is Ryan Tannehill. And where is he going to land? If one of these teams has an injury, needs some depth, that's a guy who could have a Flacco-like turn to the season where Joe kind of saved the Browns and got them into the playoffs.
Interested. Definitely interested, man. I hope Minshew works out. That's been like the theme of the show, man. Is the Raiders announcing that Minshew is the QB1, and you hear the media talking about the move. Eisen, we all know he's a Raider fan on the low. He over here talking about Kenny Stabler. I hope he could be that guy.
I think he meant Jim Plunkett. He couldn't have meant Kenny. We drafted Kenny Stabler. We drafted
Jim Plunkett or even Rich Gannon. Journeyman quarterbacks.
Yeah, or Rich Gannon. Yeah. Or Jeff Hostetler. Sure. Hostetler was solid. He wasn't great, but he was solid.
Right. So we'll see how it shakes out. But then they also mentioned Ryan Tannehill or picking up a quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm not big on Ryan Tannehill because last time I seen him, I was like, man, he looks like he's done. Like, you can see that. Yeah, he doesn't. It didn't look like his arm was all the way there. Like, he lost a little bit there. But you never know, man. The guy's been waiting. He's probably had a great offseason. Who knows? Yeah. He made a great point about how Flacco came in to help the Browns.
Yeah.
Late in the season. Now Flacco was big for the Browns, especially with all the quarterback injuries. For Watson being out, even even your guy out of UCLA, for
DTR.
He was with the Browns. That was his opportunity, and then Flacco just comes in and just, the offense looked better under Flacco than it did Watson, to be honest with you.
It did.
If you really want to be honest. But do the Raiders make a move at quarterback? That's a good question, man. And I guess that could. What do you think? Do the Raiders make a move at quarterback? Actually, you know what? That's actually kind of our what's real, what's not. You want to segue into that?
Yeah, we can go. Yeah, go ahead.
Let's go to what's real, what's not.
Fact.
What's real, what's not. So, we're not gonna talk about. Everybody's been talking about Tyree, and we'll definitely get into it.
Yeah,
definitely get into Tyree. But
definitely,
man, people.
This for the replay. This on the replay for you, Ray. When you watch. Should the Raiders trade for a QB? Should the Raiders specifically, shout out to Raider content creator, man. He was in the chat earlier, man. I appreciate him coming through, but he actually was able to bring this to my attention. He was like, "Hey, man, there's a guy out in Chicago. A guy that the Raiders are familiar with. They actually was it his first start was against the Raiders. Undrafted rookie last year, Tyson Bagent or Bagan or his last name's kind of could go either way, but shout out to him. He's had a really good offseason. He's gotten a lot better. Chicago Bears fans are big on him. Their quarterback room, they're excited about it. Obviously, they got Caleb Williams, number 1 pick, so they're really excited about their quarterback out there. But they're also big on Tyson, and and he's looked good in preseason. He's familiar with who? Lou Getsy. So someone in the chat was talking about how Lou Getsy has something to do with Fields. You probably could say Lou Getsy had more to do with Tyson, much more.
You know what I'm saying? So you could see the fit. Now, do the Raiders make the move? I don't know. And I'm not saying this is like this is the move that gets the Raiders Super Bowl. But would you make that attempt if for like a 5th, 6th rounder?
I don't think Chicago will let him go for a 5th or a 6th rounder. I think that, they understand he is a solid backup. Caleb Williams plays a very reckless style of football. And he's not the biggest guy either. Even though he's kind of stout, but he's not the biggest guy. He likes to run around. He's going to take some hits. So there is a chance that Tyson Bagent does get some meaningful playing time this year. So I think it's going to take more than a 5th. It's going to probably take as much as a 4th. I've seen speculated. I think I was looking at something a few days ago where they said, if the Raiders wanted to make a move for Tyson Bagent, it would take a 4th. So and if that's the case, I'm not doing it. Like, I imagine this, like, if you ask me, I know somebody, they're going to clown me in the chat because I always bringing this guy up. We had a chance to draft Spencer Rattler for a 5th. And I think Spencer Rattler has more talent than Tyson Bagent. So if we had an opportunity to draft a guy like that for a 5th and we elected not to, then I really don't see us spending a 4th on a guy like him. And I don't think, like I said, I think Chicago is perfectly happy hanging on to him.
So the what's real, what's not, just to be clear, the what's real, what's not statement right now is the Raiders will trade for a quarterback. Is that real or is that not? Lake Show says yes, they should make a trade.
I'm saying I'm gonna say that's not real. I'm gonna say that's not real. I think they're gonna roll with Gardner. They're gonna keep AOC around at least for this year, and they brought in the greatest quarterback of all time. Gruden's son, or his adopted son, Nathan Peterman. And he's a guy that I think he was the 3rd quarterback in Chicago last year, I want to say. So he was behind Fields and he was behind Bagent. So I think he's a guy that kind of rounds out the room. As you kind of alluded to, we may end up having having Carter Bradley on the practice squad. So I think they're pretty set at the position. But
yeah,
I would like them to make a move. I mean, even like you brought up DTR, like, man, like, because he's probably third on depth. He might be third on the depth chart behind Jameis and behind Watson. Because remember, Jameis is in Cleveland now, so he's third on the depth chart right now. He's not even second anymore.
Yeah.
So would they be willing to give up DTR? I haven't been following what he did this preseason, but he was a guy that, you know, a lot of people compared him to Justin Fields when he was coming out of UCLA. So could that be a possibility there? That's interesting. That would be an interesting guy.
So just from Chicago's standpoint, if they can get anything for Tyson Bagent, I think it's a win in their book because he was undrafted. For them to flip a guy like that they didn't even use any type of resource to get him, meaning a literally undrafted rookie, and be able to get like anything is a win for them. That being said, they have the upper hand in negotiations if the Raiders were looking to trade, because they don't have to do that. One of the most important positions on a football team is the backup quarterback spot, because anything could happen, especially if you're out here, especially teams that are like out here trying to win. Like if the starting quarterback goes out, you definitely want to have a guy that can come in and at least be productive or be solid. And if Ty Bagent is showing to be that guy, like to be solid, like they're literally not paying him. It's not like they're paying him big time money. He's on a undrafted rookie contract, so you know he's not even on the draft scale of contracts. And he plays in he's played lights out in the preseason, so he's backing up Caleb Williams. At the end of the day, like, it probably makes more sense to keep him than to let him go, unless a team comes in and says, "Hey, we'll give you like a fourth or a third." They're gonna be like, "Hey, you know what? We can do that." So I don't think they're gonna do it for a 7th round. It doesn't make sense for them. They're not gonna do it for a 7th round pick. They're not gonna do it for a 6th. Yeah. They're not gonna do it for a 5th. And I think, and you make a good point. The Raiders, it would look so bad for the Raiders to actually go out to get him, just because the entire offseason you didn't even like try to get a young prospect at that position. I know they got Gardner Minshew in free agency, but then we wanted them to get a quarterback in the draft. They didn't get one in the first round. Obviously we heard reports that they try to trade up, whatever, but they still had different points in the draft where they could have probably got a guy. They didn't do that. And then you wait the entire offseason and you didn't trade for anybody to add to that room until now. Like, it just would look bad, in my opinion, if the Raiders try to trade for a Tyson Bagent right now. But I get it. I get the connection though. It makes a lot of sense. But I don't think the Bears would be willing to trade him unless it was for the right deal. And I don't think the Raiders want to trade for an undrafted guy like that. I don't think Telesco's willing to do that. He's too conservative. I don't think he's gonna want to.
No, facts.
For an undrafted guy, like, and you're gonna give up a mid-round pick? Ooh, that's a win. That's a win for the Bears. That's a huge win.
Right. Because you think about what he did with a 4th-round pick this year, right? I wasn't the hugest fan of the guy, but the Dikembe Richardson is a guy that he's been playing well. And I think the organization think that he's going to be a contributor in the not too distant future. So, Telesco seems like one of those guys that's going to hoard the picks. That would be disgusting. that would be the ultimate slap in the face to Aiden O'Connell, man. But I will say this. I don't think it's a controversial statement, but I don't think Aiden O'Connell is long for this team.
Hey, I've been said it. I wouldn't be mad at this one. I wouldn't be mad at this one. I like this one.
I don't think the Lions would do it. Or the Lions are gonna. Or if the Lions do it, they're gonna want like a 3rd or a 2nd or a 3rd for them. Like, the time to do this was early in the offseason. As soon as we talked about it. As soon as Goff signed that contract, we brought it up. Go get Hendon Hooker. He's already an older rookie. He's not gonna want to sit all these years. He was signed in the case that, what if Goff flames out or proves that he's not the guy. But then I think last year, he won their first playoff game in a long time. So Like you brought it to my attention. You were the first one to say it. Like, hey man, Hendon Hooker, go get him. But that's not, as you said, man. Tom Telesco, he's too conservative of a guy, man. He's not gonna do that, man.
But I would say that it would be worth it if it was like a 4th, 5th.
Oh hell yeah! Because he was drafted in the 3rd. But see, that's the thing. I think he was drafted in the 3rd round, right?
Just because of like his background, like he literally could have been drafted in the first couple of rounds.
Yeah,
at the very least, if he didn't come into the league hurt.
Exactly.
So
if it wasn't for that injury, he probably would have been there. There's a certain beat writer that said that he was going to be drafted in the 1st, and CJ Stroud was going to be drafted in the 2nd round. I'm not going to say the guy's name. This guy's quarterback evaluations have not been the most reliable as of late. I would say that, okay? Man, he used to play point guard for the Boston Celtics. So
hey, Born Raider says might be able to snag DTR off the practice squad. So you're saying that he's not going to make the team? He might get cut.
Ooh, that would be interesting. That will be interesting. I don't know if they do that. I think they keep him as a 3rd quarterback. But if he's on the practice squad, bro,
yeah.
What are your thoughts on that, Pharaoh?
I wouldn't be mad at it. I think the Raiders are probably going to be they're going to be looking to make some upgrades to the roster, just because at the end of the day, like what are the things that you kind of notice about this team in the preseason? Does this team have a lot of depth in certain positions? You know what I mean? Like we talked about that D tackle position, that we talked about certain position, maybe that corner. Are they going to maybe grab a vet maybe to solidify that spot? I understand, like we like the starters. We like the Jack Jones and the Corian Bennett and but is the Cameron Richardson ready to play right now? You know what I mean? Does he need to put on some weight? Is the guy that they drafted in the 7th round, I believe,
Devonshire,
is he ready to play right now? Probably need some
just
time.
For preseason, man. Yeah. I don't know. I liked him too.
Exactly. So there's spots on this team where the Raiders can probably add some people, and I guess when it gets closer, probably, I think a cut down day is probably next week, right? I believe it's next week after the last preseason game.
After this last preseason game.
Yeah. So we'll figure it out soon enough. But obviously, if there's a quarterback that has some type of potential and can add to the room, I'm all for it. Let's go after and get that quarterback. I'm sure AP wouldn't be against it, especially or even Tom Telesco, especially if they can pick up a guy by signing him instead of trading for him, for sure.
No, facts.
I'm for it.
Fact.
But I'm DTR. Do you think he fits what the Raiders are trying to do on offense?
I think he does. Ironically, I mean, so there's two things. DTR, he went to Bishop Gorman High School. Bishop Gorman is where? It's Las Vegas. I think he played with Roma Dunze when he was there too. I want to say, but then of course he went to UCLA and he played for who? Chip Kelly, who was a guy that the Raiders had interest in potentially as an offensive coordinator. It was reported. So I think that he has the ability. He has all the physical tools are there. Only thing about DTR is that for most of his high school career, he was behind a guy named Tate Martell at Bishop Gorman. Tate was supposed to be like the next Johnny Manziel type guy. I think he committed to Ohio State, and then he started getting into all kind of trouble, and he kind of fell off the face of the earth. So DTR didn't play quarterback there until his senior year. Before that, he played wide receiver, and then he played, I want to say, 5 years at UCLA. So he doesn't have a whole lot of time on task. With that being said, I think there's still some development to be done there, just because he hasn't been playing quarterback for that long. So I think that if you get him in a room with Rich Gangarello and with Luke Getsy, I think there's some potential to be mined still, and he has all the physical tools you want. He's great size for the, not great size, but pretty good size for the position. He's very athletic. He has a strong arm.
He got 6'1", 6'2"?
Yeah, 6'1", 6'2". But he's built. He's built, he's in incredible shape. He's in great shape. Takes great care of his body. You can tell. He doesn't look, doesn't have the dad bod thing going on like Aiden. I think and he can move. That's one thing, is he has the ability to move. He can hurt you with his legs, and that's something he did time and time again at the collegiate level. So I think that if we can get him in here, and that's something that obviously Lou Getsy likes. So if we can get him in here and let our coaches work with him, I think he's a guy that can work, especially if he's going to be on a practice squad and you can sign him essentially for nothing. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah. Hey, look. We're not 100% confident in the QB room. The Raiders coaching staff is not 100% in the QB room. AP is not 100% confident in QB room. Just look at how he announced the starting spot.
Uninspiring announcement I've ever seen in my life, bro.
He was like, this is what we felt like was the best position, for the first quarter of the season. Experience, processing. Yeah. It was just like, but
you sound like Obama when you're saying that, bro. That's like it's like Obama impression.
I'm just saying, man. Look. At the end of the day, all I'm saying is that AP didn't really. To be fair, it's not like the quarterbacks played lights out. They didn't really play well enough. They didn't separate themselves enough from each other for us to be, or even them to be confident about it. They just literally looked at it from a perspective like, all right, let's look at our schedule.
Nah, exactly.
They stopped looking at the quarterbacks. It was like, let's look at our schedule and be like, we play some pass rushers.
Exactly.
O-line
like week one, we got Khalil Mack, we got Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa. Then we got Matabuke.
Right.
And then you got, then you got the guy from Auburn. Was it Derek Willis?
Yeah.
You got Myles Garrett. It's like, you know what?
Yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and put Minshew out there.
Minshew could just buy some time and make something happen, and we'll just hopefully we play great enough defense from the ball and win those games. And after that, if Minshew falters, then we'll go back to AOC.
Facts.
But hey, look, like I said, to be fair, it's not like the quarterbacks played well. Like we've heard from training camp how bad they were playing. So we're like, all right, you know what? Maybe it's the defense playing lights out. But they come to preseason and you could see that it was a mixed bag. So it is what it is. So I'm all for upgrading the team at every spot. It doesn't matter where it's at. If we can upgrade the team, go ahead. If we can get a quarterback, if we can get this, get that, whatever, let's go ahead and do that. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that. It's going to happen soon enough. Cut down day is going to be sometime next week after the last game of the season. They got to get to 53. And in the process of getting to 53, they're going to be looking around the league and seeing who gets cut from certain teams, who's available in trades. So we'll pay attention what the Raiders do to upgrade the roster. Mark says Tafer reported it was due to the O-line that they picked Minshew. Look how Pierce mentions quarters. AOC will start this year, take over when the line plays better. Okay. We'll see.
I mean,
we'll see.
I
but
think that all depends on how Minshew plays.
Exactly. What happens if Minshew plays well? You're not going to take him out if he's playing well, but I can see how their thought process could be like, hey, you know what? When Minshew struggles, then maybe you got for a couple games, and then maybe you got to put AOC in a game. So we'll see how it shakes out. But let's actually talk about this, man, because everybody's kind of been hitting at this. I know I put this on the thumbnail, not on the thumbnail, but on the title. And I actually put out a poll too, and I'll try to put it up in a second. There was a suggestion by an NFL writer for Bleacher Report who has been following the Raiders, and he had an article about what player that the Raiders or the NFL team should trade from their team. And when the Raiders came up, he suggested that Tyree Wilson should be traded. And the Raiders should cut their losses. Former 7th overall pick. The Raiders should cut their losses right now before it's too late and they don't get anything for him. So trade him now, where some teams could believe that he has some type of potential to be whatever. Get some type of value from him, get some mid-round picks, third rounder, I mean, if you're lucky, a second rounder, but nah, it's not gonna be for no second round. Maybe third round at best, fourth rounder, or a couple of picks, whatever the case may be. The point is taken. He's saying get some value before it's too late, and this is due to the tough start that he's had so far to his young NFL career. Last year, obviously, we've seen the struggles, the get off, He got in there early on. It wasn't expected. We all know that Chandler Jones situation, how it happened, and when he got on the field, we seen like how much time he needs to get better at the position that he's playing right now. And we understand that he was hurt last year, but I'm not gonna lie. So far from what I'm seeing from Tyree Wilson, it's I don't know, man. Like he doesn't look special. I mean, right now he has no moves. You know, he's strictly a power guy. Like they know what he's gonna be doing. Like he's just out there trying to like bull rush everybody.
Yeah.
And if you compare him to Max, which is a hard comparison, but like Max got so many different moves. He can get you from so many different ways.
Yeah.
And then the opposite of Max Crosby would be Tyree. He just has one way of getting the job done. But
yeah.
To take it back to the topic, right? What's real, what's not? The Raiders should trade Tyree Wilson. Is that real or is that not?
It's not real. It's not real. And I'm the guy that was probably the most critical of the pick. I think I gave the pick a 6 out of 10. I know there's a certain Raiders content creator was very happy with the pick. But I was not happy. And these are things I brought up, right? I think like when I did my one of the first videos I did on YouTube was my post-draft reaction or post-draft analysis of the Tyree pick. And I said, those are all things I brought up, right? His lack of pass rush moves, his slow get off, the fact that, he did have basically elite production, but he had elite production in the Big 12. It's not exactly a conference known for churning out NFL prospects. So it was, like, how do you really look at that? I still think he was a good prospect just because of his measurables. He does still have some athleticism. He has crazy long arms. There's potential there to be mined. Everything I heard about him at Texas Tech was that he was a very hard worker, one of the hardest workers on the team, but he just hasn't turned the corner. I think we were all excited about him when we saw his physique. We saw, he looked, bulked up, looked like more muscular. We heard him speak. He sounded more confident, but yet and still, right, he's always had just those basically 2 pass rush moves, right? The bull rush, and he has the long arm. Outside of that, he doesn't have anything. I think in that video that I made about him, there's a guy I compared him to. And I know some people, I took some heat for it, but I compared him to Alex Leatherwood, where he's a guy that if you look at him as just a physical specimen and athletically, I think you say, dang, this guy should be one of the best players at his position. But then if you look at everything it takes to play that position, like all those little fine details, the technical aspects of playing the position, Tyree lacked basically all of them, right? Bad get off, no pass rush moves, doesn't rush with a plan, doesn't get off blocks well. And all that stuff is still holding true to this day. He really hasn't improved. Last year people said he was injured and he missed all the training camp. But after that he essentially had the entire season to kind of work himself into shape and get better. Didn't really do it. He had this entire offseason to kind of work himself into shape and get better. Still hasn't come to fruition either. So I think it is time for concern. But when you spend the 7th overall pick on a guy, like at that point, like if all you're going to get back is like a 4th or a 5th, where you might as well just hang on to that guy and hope that he develops, because at this point I would rather just him walk for nothing. And we did everything we can do to try to turn him into a real NFL player than give up on him for a fourth or a fifth and him go somewhere else. And then they take the time and continue to develop him. And then he realizes some of the potential we saw when we drafted him at 7.
Myra's like, who's gonna want him though? Hey, look, it's whoever had him high on their draft board early on last year. Like, you know what I mean? There's gonna be a team that could be like, you know what, we like the tools that Tyree Wilson has, and they're obviously the Raiders are gonna try to negotiate the best deal they can get. But those are the teams that are gonna probably look into maybe possibly getting him, especially teams that need some talent on that D line, like and they were high on Tyree Wilson. There's a lot of teams that when you're a first round pick, especially this early, it's his second year. Someone's gonna take a chance. Someone's gonna take a flyer. You know, someone's gonna do it if the Raiders choose to trade him. But you know, there's a lot of people right now. They're like, nah, he gotta go. He's a bust. There's some people are like, you know what? It's his rookie year, pretty much. His last year was a wash. He wasn't 100% healthy. He wasn't even supposed to play like that. And shout out to my guy Raider Smoke, man, with another super chat. Appreciate you, my guy. He says Tyree Wilson best used as a D tackle, if not trade him 3rd rounder. Well, hey, look, and the thing is, look, the Raiders are actually not in a bad situation in that they really need Tyree Wilson to be the guy. He just needs to play his role. And his role is a guy that they're going to move from outside to inside. And if he could just play that role, that versatile D lineman role, that's cool as he develops. Now, the wild card here is Telesco didn't draft him.
Exactly.
And Telesco could be like, you know what? This is not a guy I really value, and Raiders need to upgrade at some different spots, you know, and they can possibly use the assets that they can get in a trade to upgrade the team. So I can see it happening in that way, but you know, obviously, you know, Telesco's not going to make the move without consulting with the coaching staff and how they feel about him, but. Man, when you see Tyree out there and you forget he's out there and it's the second quarter in the preseason game and the third quarter in the preseason game, you're just like, what the?
It was a play. I think
you just compared him to Leatherwood. Let's not forget about that. Like you literally compared him to Leatherwood.
Yeah, man. I did just because he's lacking that. Now I think the difference between him and Leatherwood, I think he has a passion for football. I don't think Leatherwood really loved football. I think football was more of a means to an end for Leatherwood. Like, I can make a living doing this, and that'll allow me to do other things that I enjoy. I think Tyree loves football, but I just think he's just lacking all those other aspects to be an effective player. And you talk about, man, like he's just a guy out there. I remember there was a play against the Cowboys, I want to say he damn near had like a free rush to Trey Lance. And Trey Lance moved around him like he was standing still, and it broke out the pocket. I don't remember if he ended up running.
It was like a QB option. It was a QB option, and to be honest, like, come on, like it's not like Tyree's the fastest guy on a football field, and on top of that, he's going against a mobile QB. That's his bread and butter.
Yeah,
the best thing about Trey Lance. Yeah, I know, but
you're a 7th round pick, man. You got, you know, you're 6'6". You got these crazy long arms. You're supposed to be this physical specimen, and just to move around a guy like it was nothing. Like he moved around like he was standing still. Like, you know, like it was just a bad sight to see, man. It was just bad sight to see. And then Tyree, like it just made Tyree look just like hella slow. It's just like it made him look bad, man. I was just like, my God.
Yeah. The Tribe says, I hated the pick after I watched his college film. Still, this is basically his rookie year. So although I don't expect much, let's wait out of the year to see what happens. Hey, yeah. And like I said, he's kind of in a good situation right now. He's in a good situation. You got Max in front of you. You got Kuntz. You got Wilkins. And then on top of that,
Kuntz is in a good situation.
Kuntz in a great situation.
Kuntz is in a good situation. Kuntz
He's gonna.
He's walking past. Every time he's walking through the Raiders headquarters, he passes Telesco's office like this, just looking at him.
Hey, he's gonna do one of these, man. He's gonna do one of these.
Bring me my money.
Exactly. Hey, yo, man. Because he's fast on the edge, and Tyree isn't fast. And you know what they say about people that are fast and people that are not.
Yeah. Oh, I got you.
Because it's the fastest who gets paid, and it's the fastest who gets laid.
You damn right.
Hey, man. Look, I hopefully that was one of the guys that actually kind of circled him like, hey, I want to see how he plays in the preseason. I want to see with all the off-season hype. We've seen the pictures. We've seen that he put in some time. We've seen that he was with Max Crosby at the pass rusher summit.
Yeah.
So we expect him maybe, hey, you know what? He's healthier, but it's just like, man, it's like that Cleveland Farrell. They're not similar players, but it's just like, are we expecting too much from maybe guys that might just end up being role players? You know?
Yeah, man.
That just might be the case, man. Because some guys, you just know they got it. They got that. Look, Nate Hobbs. I know Nate Hobbs is a 5th round pick. Instantly, you just see like, man, this dude special. He needed time to develop. He got better as a player, but then Max Crosby, we seen how he kind of came in the league. Like, you know, not to compare, but you seen like, oh wow, like there's that potential. You seen the potential, but with Tyree, it's just like, man, I don't know, man. So you can make an argument that, you know, the Raiders should probably cut their losses and get something out of it before it's too late. You know, because you can get a guy like we look, Kuntz. What was Kuntz? Kuntz was a 3rd rounder, right?
I believe so. Yeah, people say we reached on him too. So, you know, I think he was a 3rd rounder. People say we reached, but look at him now. Look at him now.
But you know, hey, look, if the coaching staff still believes in him, if Telesco's like, you know what, give him some time, then you know that's their decision to make. But if the coaching staff don't believe in him, then it's no point in keeping him.
Yeah, that is the question. I mean, they were talking like they did. They were talking like they did early, but you know, you never know. As you said, that this is not a guy that was a pick of this regime. So you know, if it's not like they spent a 7th round pick on him, they really don't care about him. Now maybe Patrick Graham kind of pounds the table for him a little bit. You know, Robbie Leonard was still here. Maybe he kind of says, hey, you know what? I got faith in him. I believe I can do something with him. You know, and maybe they have a plan in place. They talked about having a plan in place in terms of they started him inside to kind of get his hands quicker. I ain't seen no evidence that shit worked, but that was their plan. So you know, maybe they're still rolling out the plan, and maybe he's a guy that's going to be a late bloomer. It takes him 3-4 years to really reach his ceiling. But as I said, man, he's a number 7 overall pick. At this point, you know, where are you going to go from this year to next year? Maybe you go from getting a 4th, 5th rounder this year, and next year you'll get a 6th out of him. Like, I'd rather keep him this extra year and continue to develop him and maybe lose a round or 2 in draft compensation than give up on him too early. And then, you know, he starts reaching his potential.
Raider Smoke with another super chat, man. He says Tyree looked like he was in quicksand on that play. Yeah, that it was an option, and yeah, Lance just make it too easy. He could have played it better. You know what I mean? Like, hey, look, NFL players, they play against players that are faster, but it's all about them angles. And he kind of like the way he played it. He like, you know what I mean? It just looked bad. Like he put him in a position where it was like he had too much space, and Lance took advantage of it and I believe he got the first down on that play, too. Yeah, but. Hey, we'll see how it shakes out, man. Look, we'll be surprised. Sometimes there's gonna be some surprise cuts. There might be some surprise trades. Look, the next few weeks, a couple weeks before the season, like both the Raiders and the NFL are gonna be making moves left and right. So we'll see how it shakes out. Tyree could, and this is not a report. This is not an actual report. This is not going to happen. The only thing, Reese Rock, man. Oh man.
Nah, man, facts.
Flag
man.
on the play. He says Tyree is big and athletic for no reason. Man. But look, we'll see how it shakes out, man. The Raiders are gonna have a lot of decisions to make when it comes to the roster. The next couple weeks, we'll see who's gonna make that final 53. We'll see who gets picked up. Next game is against the 49ers. Hopefully, they ended on the right note and beat the scum that is the 49ers. But we'll if you're a real Raider fan, y'all know where I'm coming from when I say that, man. So y'all know what it is, man. But man, it's been a great show. We appreciate everybody coming through. Man, we were able to talk about a lot of different things. We were obviously the majority of the conversation was about the quarterback. Minshew is QB1, and we all for it.
Yes.
Well, until
celebration, hence the.
My guy Severe came prepared today, man. He was ready, man. So, some of the people that was that was one. I'm not seeing them in the chat today, man. They might watch the replay.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure to leave a comment. You know, they didn't show up. The guys that were rooting for AOC and saying that AOC is going to be the next Tom Brady and all that, they weren't here in the chat for some reason. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't have it. You know what? Born Raider, that's a good point. I hope to see Lobby play that whole game against. I hope so too. I really wanted to see him play with the starters, but it felt like the Raiders' offense, especially early on, it was just 100% about the QBs.
No, facts.
You know, so we weren't able to see a guy like Lobby play too much. But yeah, like I hope to see him play too. But if he's playing with the backup O-line, I don't know if it's gonna look too good. But we'll see, man. We'll see. Hey, man. We'll definitely be back, man. Like I said, it's gonna be same show, new time. We're gonna be here every Tuesday evenings. We appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to clock in, clock out at this point. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. We appreciate the support. Severe, man, let the people know where they can find you, man, and what to look forward to.
Man, you guys know what it is. It's at The Severe Raider here on YouTube, The Severe Raider on IG, on X, on Snapchat, on TikTok. Probably going to be trying to make a Twitch pretty soon as well. I got some stuff I'm going to be dropping pretty soon, so some funny stuff. And I'm also working on something with me and my guy Chris from Protect the Shield. We're trying to get something locked down too. You know, a bad guy show. You know, me and him we're known as the haters. So we're trying to put something together where we tag team on that. So hey, man, you know, now you guys know where to find us every Tuesday. Trying to get on here a little bit earlier for you guys, so that way, you know, our people on the East Coast and in the Central Time Zone, you guys can kind of catch that live. So hopefully this works out for y'all. Let us know in the comment section, you know, if y'all liking a new day and a new time. But other than that, man, it's back to my guy Pharaoh.
Yeah, man. Hey, look, like let us know in the comment section how y'all feel about what we talked about today, the quarterback position. If y'all disagree with the decision that they made. The team, the direction of the team, what to look forward to this week against the Niners. I know you guys, someone in the chat I think the Tribe mentioned, or Born Raider was talking about Lobby. Yeah, Dylan Lobby is going to be a guy that we're going to be looking forward to watch. It's going to be a lot of players that are going to be trying to make the team or moves that the Raiders should make. Next couple of weeks, man, a lot of teams are going to be cutting players that, you know, might be valuable to the Raiders. So let us know what you guys think. As far as Smoke, you said what time? 7. We say evenings. Y'all know how it goes, man. Sometimes things happen, but 7 o'clock on Tuesdays. Just make sure to circle that and make sure to take some time if you guys want to be here on a live show. This is pretty much
7. Huh? 7, Pharaoh? 7. 7. Really?
Hey, look, y'all know what it is, man. Hey, look, but definitely Tuesday evenings. It's gonna be a little bit earlier than we usually go. I know we had the Monday nights locked down, but hey, we doing a new time, man. New time, new season coming up. So definitely lock us in for Tuesday evenings. Make sure to clock in, like my guy Mark is saying over here, man. Clock in, hit that like button, clock out at this point. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We appreciate. Hey, it's been a great show. So we do this every week. 50-50 show Tuesdays every evening. And this week we're going to be dropping a new episode on Fridays, every Friday with Big Mike Rader. And the show is called Around the Shield. Make sure to check that out. Hit the notification bell and just be on the lookout for content that I'll drop throughout the week. The community tab, I'm pretty active on there. Social media page as well, Around the Shield. Make sure to head over there and give a follow for that. I know we'll keep the nation updated with regards to Raider news and also even clips from the shows as well. So make sure to check that out. And if you guys have IG, definitely give us a follow. But yeah, man, we appreciate everybody coming through. Let's see. Hold on. Let me. I think I.
Same here, Raider Smoke. Same here, brother. It's usually.
What did Smoke say? What did Smoke say?
7 for us Mexicans is usually at 8-9 p.m. Hey, brother. Look.
Hey, man. Look, we trying out here, man.
We very Mexicans if that's the case, bro.
We try, man. Hey, look, we appreciate everybody coming through, man. Hey, great show. Till next time. Peace.
Just win, baby.
Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.